playing some great music again in a few minutes.
In the meantime, please thank our sponsors for their support. It doesn't cost a dime to give them a call or a shout out on social media, and it lets them know that their support is deeply appreciated.
Thanks for tuning in and have a musical day.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you or a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
Hey, I'm Yael Osowski.
And I'm David Clement.
We're the host of Consumer Choice Radio, broadcasting every Saturday at 10 a.m. here on the Big Talker 106.7 FM.
Consumer Choice Radio is a weekly conversation featuring the latest news, interviews, and expert analysis that covers consumer topics from around the world.
ConsumerChoiceRadio.com.
Are you nervous about joining a gym? Anxious about not being able to keep up with others in the fitness classes? Full Circle Fitness has your solution. We specialize in working with those just getting started on their fitness journey. Our coaches tailor each workout to you and your level of ability, so you don't have to worry about keeping up. There's no better opportunity to get started. Call today, Full Circle Fitness, 910-399-8350, or visit FullCircleFitnessNC.com.
If you enjoy the programming on The Big Talker, the best way to take it with you wherever you go and have access anytime you want it is the Big Talker app. It's free, doesn't cost you anything. Go to bigtalker.live, download it for your Apple or Android device. Has all kinds of options for you. You can listen to programming, our video content. You can even watch it right there live on the app. Go to bigtalker.live, download the app for Android or Apple, and enjoy content from the Big Talker wherever you go, whenever you want it, however you want it.
Wake up to Good Morning Carolina, weekdays at 5:30 a.m.
And Good Morning Carolina. It is a very busy news morning today. I'm Donna Gregory.
And I'm Jeff Rivenbark. We're glad you're starting your Tuesday with us.
Be prepared and ready to go for the day ahead.
For the time being, we are dry and quiet, but we are dealing with some patchy fog.
And catch up with the overnight news you need to know before heading out the door.
We'll have more details and more live coverage in just a few moments.
Get up early for Good Morning Carolina, weekdays at 5:30 a.m.
Teachers and parents, the North Carolina Symphony is here to support you as you carry on the education of your children and students. Take your kids on a free virtual field trip to the Symphony with a virtual education concert and companion student book. Go on a virtual journey to learn what makes music music with music by William Grant Still, Beethoven, Brahms, and more. Access the free video and student book with password 1932 at ncsymphony.org/virtual.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Living Fit After 50. It's Friday. It's a beautiful day here in Wilmington.
You didn't know where we were.
I knew where I was. I didn't know where the camera was. So, we have, in case you don't know, we have bright light shining in our face so that Lori looks her best because nobody cares how I look. But yeah, it's a beautiful day, but we got a beautiful show. Nice segue I just did there. How was that?
Beautiful.
Lori's just looking at me like, what are you doing? Welcome, everybody. Hope you had an awesome week. We have a really exciting show today. I know I say that every week, but this one's going to be a good one. We have some guests that Lori has known for how long?
Oh, since the roads were dirt and the cars were horses.
Oh, so about as long as my co-host on the Tuesday night show, All Things Brunswick, Bill's been around. Okay.
Right. I've known Pam since seventh grade. So.
Seventh grade. So considering Lori is 95, that tells you something. I joke, I kid. But hey, everybody, welcome. Don't forget, we are live on the Big Talker Network. You can always download the Big Talker app. It's available on Google Play and Apple. We're also live on Facebook if you're joining us there. How you doing? You can watch the video there. And of course, you can be part of the show if you wish. You can call into us at Hold on, I can look for it. 910-444, stop laughing, 0281. You can also chat with us in the Facebook page. Our awesome producer, TK, is monitoring that. If you have questions for us or our guests, feel free to ask. And on that note, I'm going to turn it over to Lori so she can say hi and introduce our guests.
All right. Hello there. I am Lori. Finally, I get to talk. Today we have some great guests, great friends of mine, Pam and Phillip Howe. As I said, I've known Pam since 7th grade. And Pam and Phillip are coming to us live from Savannah, Georgia. They are the owners of How to Run running store, and they've got a great program. Let me see. Dan moved my notes.
I did not. I was just sitting here.
So I'm going to open it up to both Pam and Phillip right now. So Pam, I'm going to start with you because we had you listed first. No, just kidding. I'm just busting on Phillip.
Well, it's alphabetical that way. Pam comes before Phil.
True. Yeah. So Pam, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
All right. Well, thanks for having us. First of all, appreciate this. Originally from Albany, New York. That's where I met Lori. Living in Savannah, Georgia now for 26 plus years. I work for an insurance agency, an independent insurance agency as well. I'm the vice president of accounting here. I've been here for almost 13 years. But for the last 3, Phillip and I have been owners of a run specialty store here in Savannah called How to Run. Of course, play on our names. And the number 2 in there. I started running really late in life compared to a lot of the people that I know. I was always a walker, and walked for about 15 years. And then once my dog got old and my walking friends got older, I said, let me try this running thing. And man, oh man, boy, did I hate it at first, because I think I did a lot of what a lot of people do. I tried too hard, too fast, and didn't realize, boy, oh boy, this really sucks. So kind of changed what I did and walked a little, ran a little, and started doing some intervals. And once I kind of got the hang of things and realized I kind of enjoyed running, it became a daily routine. And it just kind of built up from that walking phase in my life. And I think the best thing that I could have done was to do that and to do that run walk interval like I did, because I didn't hate it.
Right.
A lot of people, they get out there and they try to run and they do a mile or 2 miles and they just try and go too far, too fast or whatever and hurt themselves. One thing. And just get themselves burned out and realize, ooh, this isn't for me. But the way that I did it, it was very good for me, not realizing that that's really the best thing that you can do for yourself, right? To start a program such as that. Right. And, I did it by myself for the most part at first until I was able to build up and, a little bit of distance. And I'll never forget, I was able to run around my block a whole 2 miles. Like what I did, I ran from light pole to light pole and then walked to light pole. And then did that, days on end. And then I ran 2 light poles and walked a light pole, and then eventually I was able to run 2 miles, and I was like, wow, look at that. I ran all the way around the block. Isn't this cool? And then eventually built up a little bit more and ran 2 times around the block. And my son said, Mom, you should run a race. And I was like, run a race? I'm not fast, And he's like, no, they're for charity. Just do a charity 5K. And as I did, and that was that's what created the monster in me, aside from Phillip getting me a GPS watch. Once I got that GPS watch,
then you found mine's right there on my wrist, so I get it.
Yep. That watch created the monster in me.
So I'm going to turn it over to Phil and let him tell us a little bit about himself, and then I'm going to get you both on talking about your running careers. So Phil, if you can tell us a little bit about you.
So the baby of the bunch, as that was pointed out earlier, and I'll just say, I don't mind going last because I always get the last word in my house, and it's yes, dear. So it's okay when you always address her first.
I like him.
Messed up.
He speaks the truth.
Yeah, but originally, I'm a military brat, so I kind of lived all over the place growing up as a kid. But most of my time, of adult life and a good portion of my childhood was spent between Savannah and St. Augustine, Florida. So, Pam and I met in Savannah, and, that's history from there. It's been a wonderful, wonderful marriage that we've had for this amount, these years that we've had together. And some of the things that we were able to accomplish in the years are amazing as well. But that's a whole nother story. As far as getting into the running, my background has always been in wrestling and cross country and athletics, and I had a chance to wrestle at the national level, out of high school and stuff. And so that's where my passion began, and I learned a lot through that experience. And my running isn't so much running with the store. My background and piece in the store is more of the physical aspect of it, the training programs, and the nickname around the store, even though I'm the baby of the bunch, is Yoda. And of course, Pam's going to, I'm sure, bring up the senior citizen discount on this. But again, digressing.
I gotta ask. How does Yoda come into play?
Because I fix people. They come in there broken, they're injured, they're hurt, and we find the ways to keep them healthy and keep them moving. And one of the things that Pam,
that's what it is. He's all knowing. He knows everything, like Yoda.
Oh God!
So you have to understand, Yoda is like my favorite person. Do or do not. There is no try is one of my favorite sayings. We actually had it on our studio wall for a while.
Yeah.
Lori refers to him as the little green man. So,
all right.
And the Bullet's the other guy. But anyway, I digress. Yes, go ahead, Lori.
So Phil, you being the baby of the bunch, so you're not a big runner.
Yeah, I run to keep up with Pam. Pretty much, she's always on the road. So if you want to have a conversation, you've got to have a little pep in your step. So, but yeah, not real big into the racing and stuff like that. Just general running for fitness and health.
But we say he runs the store and I run the streets.
Ah, beautiful.
Oh, I like that.
That's great. Nice. That's great. So, and I know we're going to talk about the store in a little bit, but so Pam, you kind of touched on, you started your running career at 50 years old. What advice would you give to somebody who had run and are 50 and plus and haven't run in a while? I know you kind of touched upon light pole to light pole walk and doing that type of strategy. Any other advice on that?
Absolutely. Just take it easy. When we have training plans, when we give people a training plan to get them ready for maybe a 5K or whatever, or even just get them back into a fitness program, it's very important to be gradual in increasing mileage and increasing your effort. So sometimes we use a 10% rule, to not want to increase your mileage more than 10% per week. So you're not adding too much stress to your body, too much stress to your joints, that kind of thing. It's very important to make sure that everybody learns that they need to do dynamic warm-ups before they're running. We need to make sure that everybody does proper stretching after they're running. All of these things need to be taken into consideration, especially with our age.
Right.
That we take care of our bodies in that way. Very important to have the proper shoe. And that's where we come in with the store to make sure that everybody has the proper shoe. Somebody that hasn't run in a while, you need to make sure that your body is suited to the shoe that you have on your foot, or the shoe is fitted to the body. Because everybody's different. Everybody's different, and your goals are different. Your aspirations. Am I going to race? Am I just doing this for fitness? Am I going to be walking? Am I going to be running? And we go through all of that in the process. That's something that Phillip's the expert on, to find, the right shoe. So you want the right gear. definitely the right gear when you want to get back into it, that kind of thing.
Right.
And just make sure you take all the proper steps in order to get the right amount of rest. Don't overdo it, that kind of thing. You need to recover. You have to have your proper recovery days, that kind of thing. So there's a whole lot that needs to be taken into consideration. And just having some proper guidance from a run coach or a group or a run club, that kind of thing, that can really help. Even if you're not out there to race or anything like that, just to get proper guidance from somebody, even a coach as yourselves, the coaches in the gym kind of thing can give proper guidance when it comes to the fitness aspect of it.
Yeah, you bring up an interesting point because, 7-8 years ago, Lori and I were running coaches for the Freihofers Run for Women. And really enjoyable experience for us. But one of the things I took issue with, maybe that's not the right phrase, but they never talked about footwear or anything other than let's just go run, right? It was, we had people who had never run in their life, were not in shape and all that. And they would just take off. And I think, honestly, we were trying to run 10-minute miles day one. I'm like, no. And they were doing the, run a little bit, rest, run a little bit, but they were trying to go full pace. And one of the things that I kept bringing up is, hey, let's talk about footwear. You can't use your Walmart sneakers, that type of thing, because it eventually is going to lead to pain. And then that just turns people off. So footwear, I agree, is critical with that. And I would throw in the watch myself.
Exactly. So
people really need to keep it in perspective too. It's not so much an age thing or be fearful of your age when you start or anything like that, because this progression that you're going to go through is very similar that infants would go through. And I use this analogy all the time. You have a child that's learning to walk. When it starts to walk, it doesn't just stand up and run across the room. There's always a step and a fall, and then it's 2 steps and a fall and 4 steps and a fall. And eventually it's a full travel to where they're trying to get. But what's happening here is physical and neurological connections have to happen. The brain's got to tell the body how to do it. The body has to adjust and develop muscle and structure and support to do what you're asking it to do. So, it's just being patient. And age does play into it because you have to be a little more patient when you're older because it takes longer for things to snap back.
Correct. And that's one of the things that we tell our clients, because our clientele are 50 and older, and that it does take time. It's just not going to develop overnight. And it's funny, Pam, you were talking about getting started running at 50. And I can remember following you on Facebook where you ran a 5K, then you did a 10K, and now you're running marathons. And it was almost like every week you were doing a major run. So we talk about, you mentioned, taking those rests, especially just getting started out and stuff. How did you adjust to all of those events? I mean, I'm sure your adrenaline was just like going wild because you get that high once you cross that finish line, and then you want to do another one and another one. How did you feel about getting more and more involved in these races more frequent? Because most people don't run 5K, 10Ks, marathons right after an event. You know what I mean?
See, for me, I think just it was an adrenaline rush. I was a junkie. I got addicted real easy to the racing part of it because just the whole atmosphere of the race day, the whole atmosphere of the run community, just getting out there with your friends to go out and run a race. Maybe not every race we were running really fast. We were just out there to have a good time. We're out there to work, to raise money for a charity. We're out there, to get together with our friends. Heck, if we missed a race, man, you got some major FOMO going on. Man, I missed that one. Everybody looked like they had such a good time. Oh, man, I missed it, for any reason or another. But there's always so much going on down here when it comes to the running community that it's just so easy just to get hooked just because it's fun to get out there with your friends. And, it took me 8 months to go from the 5K distance to the marathon distance. And my first marathon, I did a run walk interval. So I didn't go out and run that first marathon, by any means. It was a nice, easy, I just want to cross the finish line kind of thing. I had some friends that were doing run walk interval. I actually was just going to do the half marathon up until a few days before the race. And I was like, I changed from the half marathon to the full marathon at the expo when I went and picked up my bib, because I was like, let me just give this a try. I mean, I was training with some friends. We're training in groups. Everybody gets out on Saturdays or Sundays and does their long run. Everybody meets a few times during the week to get together and do their easy runs or this kind of thing, and it was easy just to, to jump in with a bunch of other ladies that were doing a run walk interval. And we got up to maybe 18 miles or something like that on one run walk training day. And they're like, that's all we're going to do. You can do it, come change to the full marathon. And I didn't tell Philip until real close to it, because he was like, half marathon's long enough. You don't need to do no full marathons. That's too dangerous. It's hard on your body. Don't do it. And I was like, guess what I did, dear? I changed to the full marathon at the expo. And he's like, so here I struggled through that very first marathon. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty. Boy, was it painful. I'm not gonna lie. It hurt like the devil.
And that's the day. That's the day it all changed, because she finished that marathon and she still felt like she had gas left. And she looked at me, wasn't tired. I mean, she was tired. She just did the first thing, but looked at me and she said, "I can do better."
Oh, wow. Nice.
That's motivating.
Well, I will tell you that, and it's funny that we talk about preparing your body for races and running and all these stretches and all this great stuff. And I am a 5K fair weather runner, and I'll do 5K races if the weather's good, or I'm running for cookies and or donuts or bagels or something, and bring Dan along. But I did sign up for a half marathon, and I'll tell you, you talk about pain. Dan and I had done a century ride, I think, a week before.
It was the set.
And I felt like, all right, my body's conditioned. I've been riding my bike. I can easily just go run 13 miles without
no running training at all.
With no running training, because we were training for this bike ride up the mountains of Saratoga, not mountains, but hills and stuff.
Well, there are mountains down here.
I know.
In North Carolina.
So I started running, and I think the first 8 miles were great because Dan was along the course and I would see him there. And then I went into the part along the river, and there were not many people there cheering you on. And that's when my body just said, all right, you idiot, you didn't train, you're done. And it felt like 20 miles left to go, and it was only like 3 or 4. And I felt great crossing that finish line. And that was the first and probably the last half marathon I'll ever run. Unless I truly train for it, but
unless I can talk her into doing a triathlon.
Yeah. But it was quite interesting. I do know that we have to take a break. Is it break time?
Yeah, it's good time. Why not we do it? Go ahead.
Yeah, we're going to take a break right now. We'll give it to TK, and then we'll come back, and I've got great questions for both you and Phil.
All right, TK, take it away for a break.
How far would you go if you had a group of strong, amazing people who support, motivate, and inspire one another to achieve their fitness goals and dreams? At Full Circle Fitness, we aren't just a place to work out. We're a community of amazing people who work together to reclaim our bodies and do things we thought we'd never be able to do again. Ready to set your fears aside and stop making excuses? Call today, Full Circle Fitness, 910-399-8350, or visit FullCircleFitnessNC.com.
Oh no, our roof is leaking and hurricane season is right around the corner. Don't let a leaky roof keep you up at night. Protect your home. Call Best Choice Roofing to schedule your free, yes, absolutely free roof inspection. Best Choice Roofing works with insurance or can repair the roof before the next storm, whether it's a full replacement or a repair. Choose the best. Call Best Choice Roofing at 910-228-5000 or go to bestchoiceroofing.com to book your appointment today.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you or a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
The Boiling Spring Lakes Motel, located at 2 North Shore, is a peaceful and convenient place to stay. Newly renovated rooms with a comfortable back porch welcomes everyone. Discount rates are available to those who might need more time. Close to the beach, everything you need for a fun vacation. Call Stephanie at 910-845-2893. Boiling Spring Lakes Motel.
Hey, I'm Yael Osowski.
And I'm David Clement.
We're the host of Consumer Choice Radio, broadcasting every Saturday at 10 a.m. here on the Big Talker 1067 FM.
Consumer Choice Radio is a weekly conversation featuring the latest news, interviews, and expert analysis that covers consumer topics from around the world.
ConsumerChoiceRadio.com.
If you're enjoying the content you find on Big Talker, any of your shows, all the hosts, you really need to make sure you're following and liking us on Facebook. There's a video section. You can watch all the live video of programs as they happen. You can also see video of past content that you may have missed for whatever reason. Plus, even better, you can share it with a friend. Let other people know how much you enjoy the Big Talker and the great content we provide, and interact with other listeners and the hosts in the comment section live as it happens. Big Talker Net on Facebook.
And we're back to Living Fit After 50. We're pleased to have our awesome guests, Pam and Phil Howe. Before we jump back in, just a reminder, you can call into the show if you want to ask Pam or Phil or even Lori and I a question. Phone number 910-444-0281. And don't forget, you can always watch show replays and get lots of other information on our website, Living Fit After 50. That's 50.com. And I'm going to throw it back over to Lori because she's got a question, I guess, for Phil.
I do.
Okay.
I'm going to bring Phil into this party. So, Phil, you said you run the store, you're not running the roads. How did you get started in the specialty stores for running?
Yeah. So, very, very good question, and kind of odd. So I've spent 20 years of my life project management and stuff like that on yachts, and pretty much wanted a career change. Needed a career change. And at the time, Pam was just getting this fever for running, and there was a local running store that was opening up, and I reached out to them and I said, hey, here's my background. This is what I'm doing now. You guys need any help? So I was going to go work at the run store part-time. Ultimately, I ended up being the manager of the store and then ultimately becoming a partner in the store. And wow. It all, it went from there. So, 6 years I spent with those guys. And then I broke out on my own, and we opened our store.
You did. Since you talked about opening your store, let's go to that right now. So when you opened your store in February of 2019, correct?
That's correct. Yep. So
all right.
We started in Hinesville, Georgia. That because that was kind of one of the things was to expand into a new market that, didn't have other running stores in it. And 3 weeks after we opened the doors, 6 days after the ribbon cutting, the store next to us was burglarized, and they set the entire building on fire to hide their tracks.
Oh, so
Yeah, so that kind of pulled the plug on that store, and we took a step back, and we thought about it. Are we going to move forward with this? Are we going to do it? Is this what we want to do? And regrouped, and finally got to where we're at now.
Nice. And if I can remember correctly, the community rallied behind you guys a lot after that fire. You had a lot of support because you were a new business and just getting started. I remember Pam posting some pictures of the community there helping you guys out.
Yeah,
they even came. We even had people that came to help us build out the new store. Because we couldn't reopen in the original location, so we had to find a new location. And we had people from our run community that came and helped paint. They came to help clean.
They were helping me hang flat wall, paint, running trim. I mean, everybody stepped up. And I'm glad they did, because I was out of money at that point. The first build out took our pockets.
Yeah, we know that.
So we were blessed because we had really good insurance. I work for an insurance agency. So one of my agents here, who's also a runner and also a very good friend, he was one of our agents. He was our agent, still is our agent. And, we had very good coverage. So we didn't lose anything out of pocket. We were able to recover. It took a long time, though. I mean, because it's not like, okay, I have a certain amount of coverage, I'm just going to get that much money. No, it don't work that way. It was quite the claim process, and it took several months for me to get through all of that. We had the cleanup people come in and clean up everything as best as they could, but we still weren't able to reopen where we were. And all of the inventory that was smoke damaged, it was still usable. Things were in boxes. Shoes were in boxes. So the boxes are all black, but the shoes inside were okay. Other things that were in packaging was fine on the inside of the package, but the package is all smoke damaged, that kind of thing. So I had a chat with the insurance agency, with our adjuster, and I said, what do you do with all this stuff? Because they came, they boxed it all up, inventoried it, cleaned up what they could, and then they just threw it all in boxes. And I said, what are you going to do with this? And they're like, oh, you can ship it back to us, ship it to the insurance company. We're paying for it, so you ship it back to us. I said, what do you do with it? And they said, oh, we'll probably donate it to charity. So I said, well, if you're going to donate it to charity, can I donate it to a local charity? Why can't I would love it to keep this local and find a needy charity here. And they said, oh yeah, we can do that. You tell us the charity, we need, their information, and we made it a publicity thing. I mean, it was great because my agent friend, who also was a race director, he was involved in the donation process. We gave everything to the United Way of Liberty County, which is the store was located in Liberty County. So we had a presentation where we came with a truckload of all of our stuff, and we were able to donate it to people in need. And then they vetted, who the stuff went to, that kind of thing, kids in need that needed running shoes for school or that kind of thing.
Great.
So it ended up being a great experience for us that we were able to donate to other people, so our loss was somebody else's gain. So that was great.
You turned a negative into a huge positive. That's awesome.
Right. So that was great. But then we ended up moving back into the Savannah area. So for us, where we are now, it's a great location. We have a great course that we can run. And, for our run groups, we do races there. We can do 5Ks and 10Ks. We do it there all the time. And it's more centralized for our run community. So I think it was all a blessing in disguise, because a lot of the people that are part of our run family now, and we call it a run family, not a run community, because we do feel like everybody's family.
Absolutely.
They rally behind us. We're there to support them. We do whatever we can to help them be successful in their running journey. And it's nice that we're a little more centrally located right now, because we get a whole lot more participation, I think, than possibly we could have at the other location.
Right. So, Pam and Phil, if I am going to start running,
which means I'm going to start running.
No. So
Miss made me do 7 5Ks in 1 year. Yeah. Just so everyone knows, and Pam and Phil, they don't know this, but I despise running with every fiber of my being. And the reason is I played football. And if anyone has ever played football, they know exactly what I'm talking about. When you screw up, you run laps, and you run a lot of them. And I was a master screw up, and I ran miles of laps every week.
Your running was punishment.
It was. And you know, it's funny. I'm joking around a little bit, but that's my mindset with running. It really is. That was in high school, college. You know, I played semi-pro a little bit. And it had, to this day, even though teens, 20s, early 30s, to this day, I still have that mindset. Do you run into that with some people where maybe they've had a negative experience, and how do you handle that?
Well, and it's real simple, and that happens, in so many different levels, and we see it a lot with military guys. The military guys, they've got to run. They got to pass their PT. They have to meet their, requirements to stay within the military and things. But that's where our run groups have really been, really special to the community. We've really fostered a great thing there because we've been able to put such a good group of people and large group of people together that when people come to a group like that, they might not have any intention whatsoever of running. They might be there just to support their wife. But there's other things that they can do there as well. Ultimately, all of that bleeds. You become infected with it when you're surrounded by people that do it, and you learn to love it at your own pace. And, again, some people just, like you said, they're just no way, never, not going to do it. But you surround yourself with people with like minds, and it gets a whole lot easier for you. And you determine how much you want to do. You determine your effort level. And again, it's the community, the people that are around you that make it so much easier.
And he touched on something there when he said you do it at your own pace. That's important too, because we have everything in our run groups, and we have everything from a walker to the runner that's going to run, a 5 or 6 minute mile. So we have such a wide range. There's always somebody there that you can partner up with.
Well, you bring up an interesting point, because I always pick on Lori because she did make me run like 7 or 8 5Ks 1 year because she enjoys running, whereas I don't. But what was interesting, and it kind of mirrors what you said, is the fact that I was doing it with Lori made it palatable to me. And I can't say I didn't enjoy it because I did enjoy it. And for me, though, I'm hyper competitive. Lori is the exact opposite of that, but she'll never admit it. But she got a little competitive with me on it. What was that?
That's why I let you win all those 5Ks.
Okay. You see, you're hearing her say it now. She let me win. I won fair and square once.
Yeah. Okay. Whatever.
Once. But it speaks to having that community around you. When we say the same thing at our gym, when you have that community and that support, it can make all the difference in the world. And that's why I always encourage people, if you want to try running, go find a good coach, someone in a group that can help you with that. Which begs my next question is, how does someone go about finding a good coach or a program such as yours?
Well, to be honest with you, there's great programs and great coaches everywhere, and any local running store should be able to turn you on to some people. You just gotta, again, you have to know what your goals are. You have to know what you're trying to achieve. Any good coach is going to be able to assemble that program around you. You just have to be honest with yourself and what you want out of it.
Right. And that's
and what I mean by that is you can get a good plan online. You can just look online and get a good plan, but you have to hold yourself accountable, and you got to know what your goals are. If you're not going to ask yourself to do what whatever's put in front of you, you're not going to do it, and you're not going to reap the benefits of it.
Right.
And that's again, it depends. Do you want to just run for fitness, or does somebody want to run to be competitive? So there's a big difference between the two.
Right.
Do I just want to go out there and get miles and burn calories and get my cardio and have a healthy heart? Is it for fitness, or do I want to improve over a period of time? Do I want, after I finished my first marathon, I said, wow, I did it. That was great. I want to do another, and I want to really train this time. So I found myself a training plan that seemed doable. They need to decide, okay, how many days a week do I want to run? Do I want to run 3 days a week? Can I run 6 days a week? What kind of program do I want to follow? How much time do I have to commit? And that's a lot of it too. What kind of commitment do I want to make out of my busy life? If I can run in the morning, can I run 3 days in the morning, maybe 1 day in the evening, whatever. But once I decided I really wanted to train for another marathon, I found a plan that seemed doable for me. And that's what I followed. And I've been following the same plan ever since. I think I might have done 17 marathons maybe now.
Wow.
But I follow the same training plan every single time because I know it works. It got me to my goal. Do you want to have a goal? Do you want to just cross the finish line? Again, what do we want?
Do you want to just make it down the block with the guys so you can get back to the store and have a beer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There too.
Exactly.
It kind of speaks to, though, when you get to our age, having a goal, whatever it might be, whether it is fitness related or maybe to sign up for a race, something like that, that can help motivate you.
Sure.
And we talk about it all the time. And one of the things that I always encourage people that are interested in running is to go ahead and sign up for a race. Doesn't matter where you finish. Who cares? Just, it gives you something to work towards.
Absolutely.
I always tell people 5Ks first, because I've seen people make the mistake of signing up for a marathon first. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. I admire your courage, but how about you try a 5K first? And then go from there to, let's say, a 10 to a half to a full. What are your thoughts on that, though? Do you think a different approach than that?
No,
I prefer to see people take slow steps into everything myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Do a few 5Ks, a few 10Ks, I mean, it is crazy just to jump into the whole marathon thing. Because if you don't even want to do a 5K, what makes you think you're going to want to run 26 miles? I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I mean, people do it, but it's not healthy. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your joints, So
Right.
I assume it would be a totally different training philosophy too, because you're trying to stretch out faster than you might normally want someone to do that. Going from training for a 5K versus a marathon is night and day different. And
absolutely,
a lot of it is stretching out how long you can run. And that's why I always encourage people, and the same applies really for any sport. Start slow and build from there.
Absolutely. You need to build up that endurance. I mean, and a full marathon is an endurance event. You need to build it up. You can't just go out and run it and expect to do well. I mean, yeah, you can go out and walk it. You can run it, run a little, walk a little, that kind of thing, and get to the finish line. But if you want to actually be healthy from the start line to the finish line, it takes a lot of training to do that.
Yes, it does.
Great point.
All right. On that note, I believe it is time for our...
Yeah, we go to another break. Good time for it.
Now, and then we'll be back with Pam and Phillip for more questions and answers.
All right. Take it away, TK, and then we'll be back on Living Fed After 50.
Are you nervous about joining a gym? Anxious about not being able to keep up with others in the fitness classes? Full Circle Fitness has your solution. We specialize in working with those just getting started on their fitness journey. Our coaches tailor each workout to you and your level of ability, so you don't have to worry about keeping up. There's no better opportunity to get started. Call today, Full Circle Fitness, 910-399-8350, or visit FullCircleFitnessNC.com.
Folks, you must visit Angie's Fresh Produce. 4447 Long Beach Road, Southport. Beautiful fresh produce at a great price. Angie's has just about every vegetable you want. In-store shopping and pickup, and all wheelchair accessible. Call Angie's Fresh Produce at 910-477-9068.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you or a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
Oh no, our roof is leaking and hurricane season is right around the corner. Don't let a leaky roof keep you up at night. Protect your home. Call Best Choice Roofing to schedule your free, yes, absolutely free roof inspection. Best Choice Roofing works with insurance or can repair the roof before the next storm, whether it's a full replacement or a repair. Choose the best. Call Best Choice Roofing at 910-228-5000 or go to bestchoiceroofing.com to book your appointment today.
This show is also sponsored by Dr. Tony Maglione. Dr. Tony is a cardiologist practicing in Wilmington. He accepts Medicare patients, and his office is located across the street from New Hanover Regional Medical Center at 2032 17th Street. The office number is 202-1071. Dr. Tony is an author whose last book is Rules for Conservative Patriots, and it can be purchased on Amazon. His website is www.drtonymag.com.
Wake up to Good Morning Carolina, weekdays at 5:30 a.m.
And good morning, Carolina. It is a very busy news morning today. I'm Donna Gregory.
And I'm Jeff Rivenbark. We're glad you're starting your Tuesday with us.
Be prepared and ready to go for the day ahead.
For the time being, we are dry and quiet, but we are dealing with some patchy fog.
And catch up with the overnight news you need to know before heading out the door.
We'll have more details and more live coverage in just a few moments.
Get up early for Good Morning Carolina, weekdays at 5:30 a.m.
And we're back to Living Fit After 50 with our guests, Pam and Phil Howe of How to Run. Just a quick note, don't forget also we have a private Facebook group called Living Fit After 50. Just go on Facebook, type in Living Fit After 50. You'll find us, and you're more than welcome to join us. We have conversations in there. Lori and I share a ton of stuff. Both fitness, nutrition, mindset, all that good stuff. So feel free to come join us there. And we're going to go and jump back into the conversation. And I'm going to ask about a certain person who wants to train.
Oh, look at me.
He's an old fat guy, and that old fat guy would be me. Okay. As I said earlier, I'm not the biggest fan of running. But one of the things that I have on my radar at 59 years old is to do the half Ironman here in Wilmington. So for those that don't know what that is, it is a swim, which is 1.2 miles. It starts here in Wrightsville Beach, and then you bike from Wrightsville Beach basically to downtown Wilmington on a very long route, 50 whatever miles, and then you go run a half marathon through town. So what I wanted to kind of touch base with Phil and Pam on is the running portion of it. How would you go about if I came to you and said, okay, I'm training for this. I've got the swim and bike training down. I want to train for the run. What suggestions would you have? I'm a 59-year-old power lifter, but I have done rowing and football in the past, so I'm not out of shape. But I'm definitely not in running shape. And I have a really bad knee, like bad knee. But that doesn't mean I can't do something. So how would you guys approach that?
Well, from the store aspect of it, it's simple. You're going to come in, we're going to do a fit analysis on you, basically. We're going to check range of motion, strength, pliability, your foot shape, your arch length, all of that stuff. We could potentially put you on a gait analysis and send you out on a run, see biomechanically how you're moving. But some of the concerns that you come to me with, just, not seeing you, not doing the testings. First, we're saying we're overweight. Well, overweight's going to be an issue because you have to remember that it's anywhere from 3 to 4 times your body weight, the amount of forces that the joints feel. And then you would mention you have a knee problem also. So that's something that we have to look at as well, because you might have to do, independent training on certain parts of the body just to stabilize that area so that you can reduce the amount of muscle oscillation, rotation and injury to the body. So there's a whole lot of things you gotta go through there. But it's important that you do, because those aren't reasons you can't do what you want to do. It just might take you a little longer to get to where you need to be.
So, Phil, do all fitness or do all running stores do something like a fitness analysis when you're going in to buy sneakers, or is that just a specialty that you guys do?
Yeah, unfortunately not. There's a lot of places that call themselves running stores that don't really do fit processes.
Right.
So you want to do the research. You want to get online. You want to look for a run specialty store, and try to find an independently owned store or something, because you're more likely going to get a more personal connection from a business owner than you are, a person working on the floor for a box store or a franchise.
Right. That's good to know, because when you mentioned that, I'm like, I wonder if one of the franchises does this. And I didn't know if they did, but I'm glad I asked, because
well, I know
then we can research it.
Fleet Feet is a franchise, is it not?
It is a franchise. Some of them are independently owned as well.
Okay. I have sent people to them because that's really the only one I know or knew before you guys.
Generally in most Fleet Feet, they've got a system in the store. It's not going to be like a biomechanical gait analysis or anything like that, like we do in our store. That's really kind of a specialty to our store. But they do have devices in there that can help you, especially with foot shape and arch, when they're used correctly.
So that brings up a question I have, like along the lines of biomechanics in general, but foot shape and arch. So someone that might be experiencing, let's say, pain when running, like, for example, I have a couple of clients in the past. One had wicked shin splints every time she ran. Another would feel
that's
primarily.
We like that one.
Oh, okay, go ahead. Elaborate how you would handle that, because that's a common one. I'm sure most people in our age group deal with.
It's very common, and it's a very, very simple thing to deal with. And and here's the funny thing about it. You might feel that sensation just from running, it's bothersome for you. But the problem is there's an underlying problem there that can cause you problems even if you don't run. That can lead to the symptoms of plantar fasciitis. But basically, It's just like myofascia knotting and tightness through your calf muscles. That's the origin of it all. They call it muscle oscillation. So it's basically like vibration that goes through the muscle. And the tighter that muscle is, the higher the vibration, the more pain that you feel. So that's where stretching is really important for runners. Runners want pliable muscles so that it absorbs energy, and it's not pinging through there, giving you those sensations of muscle oscillation.
Right.
So
that's where all of the recovery comes in, the stretching and the rolling and things of that sort.
Yeah,
so
deep tissue release.
Go out and they don't do any kind of stretching afterwards, or using a roller or a trigger point ball or something like that to get rid of that fascia, and the problems just compound because they don't.
Yeah, myofascial release.
It goes one of two ways. When you start getting that condition, it goes either to the foot, and again, plantar fasciitis, or it moves to the hip, and then people start having hip problems. But most cases, it goes to the feet.
Yeah, the other client I had was experiencing hip issues primarily, but occasionally in her knee also. And the reason I brought it up is because I was thinking I had sent her to Fleet Feet and they did some sort of analysis and switched her shoes out, and it made all the difference in the world, just the change in the shoes. Do you run into that a lot with the people that you work with?
Yeah. I mean, again, footwear is a big thing, and there's a lot to the footwear as well. There's heel elevations. People with back problems generally can go to a lower heel elevation in a shoe, which is known as a drop in a shoe, and they can reduce pressure in the lower back. You can, when people have the symptoms of muscle oscillation or shin splints, things of that nature, some stores will tend to put you in a higher heel elevation shoe because it allows that muscle to shorten even more to give you temporary relief, but it's not a long-term fix. So yeah, there are situations where shoes can kind of help you in an immediate fix, but a lot of times there's a biomechanical fix that you've got to go to it. Inserts in shoes that are being put in there at a lot of stores, those are they're supposed to be used as training aids, not permanent fixes.
Oh, okay. Do you have a particular shoe brand that you recommend more than others?
No.
So
it's your foot, your feel. It's a tool. And when you're looking for a thing like that, you got to find the right tool that's going to work for you. And you can never listen to your friend and your friend say, "Oh, this is the greatest shoe in the world," because I can guarantee you it might be a good shoe for you, but it's not going to be the greatest shoe for you just because your friend has it. We get that a lot. My girlfriend said, my girlfriend has this, or everybody in my class is wearing that. You got to find the tool that works for you for what you're trying to do.
So you mean back in the 70s, all those Chuck Taylors we wore were probably not the best option for us? Remember those?
To be honest with you, it was probably healthier than some of the shoes that are out there today.
Really? Wow. Yeah. Okay. Why would you say that? I'm curious.
A lot of it, heel elevation, and then the old Chuck Taylors actually had foot shape to them, so your toes weren't squished up in the shoe. The foot could actually splay in a natural position. But again, the big part of it was the heel elevation of the shoe. It allowed your body to sit in a natural posture and kept your muscles naturally elongated because it was in that good posture.
I learned something new today. Now I can go buy Chuck Taylors again.
I've never heard of Chuck Taylor, so I'm a lot younger than all of you.
Wow. They were
I do caution running in it until you've gotten your body, a little trained, because there's still the absorption issue that you deal with in running. You have to be able to absorb and return that energy. And, when it comes to the cushion in the shoe, that a lot of times is a personal preference, but there are strategies behind cushion as well. You think that the softer the shoe, the better it is for you. Well, sometimes too much cushion under you can actually give you that sensation of knee pain or hip pain as well, just because there's so much give into it that the muscles are allowing that joint to receive more force because it doesn't know where the bottom is.
So I have a question about shoes. Because I know as we get older, we find a pair of sneakers we like, and then come time to change them out, especially with running. How often should people be changing their shoes out?
Good question.
And if I find a running shoe, Phil, that I really like, should I buy 2 pair? Because I know next year the style's going to change.
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's a good idea. Once you find something that does work for you, it's probably a good idea to put a few of them on the shelf. I wouldn't go buy like 10 of them because your needs may change, and you're not going to need that many pair laying around. But get a couple of them.
So every shoe is different when it comes to mileage. The number of miles that you're going to get depends on what you're doing with that shoe.
I was slow on the draw there. I was trying to remember the initial part of the question.
I had to.
Well, I would think the heel strike that you have, like I'm a heel striker. Yeah. So my heels wear out faster.
Right. That's one of your problems right there. So that's something you want to fix before you go run a half marathon.
Yeah. Well, I'll blame my football coach for making me do it with all my gear on because I'm just making an excuse. I'm kidding. So
6 to 8 months is the general time on the shoe. And again, that's all relative to how you treat it. And again, how much you walk in it. Because again, when you walk in your running shoe a lot, you get a lot of that excess heel wear in there, which can change how the body reacts when you're coming in contact with the ground. If that heel gets worn out too far, then you can actually create knee pain, hip pain, ankle pain, because that heel's not there to support the outer part of the foot like it should be.
Great.
Good to know.
So before we take our next break, Phil and Pam, how would our listeners get a hold of you? Should they have any running questions or buy some of your merchandise online?
Well, our website is howtorun.com. That's HOWE, the number 2, RUN.com. So that's our website. We do have a small online store there. They can reach us by our Facebook page, How to Run, or on Instagram as well. I don't keep up with that as well as we do on Facebook. And they can see all of the stuff that we have going on in our store. That's where all of our local activities, all of our calendar is on that Facebook page for the most part. The website doesn't change so much. Our contact information is there. All of our email addresses are there on the website, of course. And if they hit us on Messenger on the Facebook page, that's a real quick way for people to get a hold of us. We're located in Savannah, Georgia. So they can come visit us and come see our run group anytime.
Beautiful. All right, we're going to go to TK for a quick break, and then we'll be back with Pam and Phil before we say goodbye.
So wrap things up. Take it away, TK.
How far would you go if you had a group of strong, amazing people who support, motivate, and inspire one another to achieve their fitness goals and dreams? At Full Circle Fitness, we aren't just a place to work out. We're a community of amazing people who work together to reclaim our bodies and do things we thought we'd never be able to do again. Ready to set your fears aside and stop making excuses? Call today, Full Circle Fitness, 910-399-8350, or visit FullCircleFitnessNC.com.
Oh no, our roof is leaking and hurricane season is right around the corner. Don't let a leaky roof keep you up at night. Protect your home. Call Best Choice Roofing to schedule your free, yes, absolutely free roof inspection. Best Choice Roofing works with insurance or can repair the roof before the next storm, whether it's a full replacement or a repair. Choose the best. Call Best Choice Roofing at 910-228-5000 or go to bestchoiceroofing.com to book your appointment today.
Veteran Awareness sponsored by You Are Not Alone. Today's veteran homeless rate is approximately 19,750, and the numbers are declining because of the various veteran programs. If you are a veteran you know is homeless, please call 877-4AID-VET. This is a confidential and toll-free call. From this veteran to other veterans, please be there to help our brother and sister veterans. Again, the number is 1-877-424-3838. And thank you for your service.
The Boiling Spring Lakes Motel, located at 2 North Shore, is a peaceful and convenient place to stay. Newly renovated rooms with a comfortable back porch welcomes everyone. Discount rates are available to those who might need more time. Close to the beach, everything you need for a fun vacation. Call Stephanie at 910-845-2893. Boiling Spring Lakes Motel.
Hey, I'm Yael Osowski.
And I'm David Clement.
We're the host of Consumer Choice Radio, broadcasting every Saturday at 10 a.m. here on the Big Talker 1067 FM.
Consumer Choice Radio is a weekly conversation featuring the latest news, interviews, and expert analysis that covers consumer topics from around the world.
ConsumerChoiceRadio.com.
If you're enjoying the content you find on Big Talker, any of your shows, all the hosts, you really need to make sure you're following and liking us on Facebook. There's a video section. You can watch all the live video of programs as they happen. You can also see video of past content that you may have missed for whatever reason. Plus, even better, you can share it with a friend. Let other people know.
Marine Service Pro and the Tackle Box Seafood, located
All right, we are back to close things out on Living Fit After 50. I know we're a little short on time, so I'm going to talk fast. Next week's show, we have an amazing person, Nancy Facone, coming on, who had bariatric surgery about 10, 12 years ago. She's going to be talking about her experiences with post-bariatric surgery and sharing some thoughts on that. Just a quick reminder, we are live every Friday, 1 p.m. You can download the app for the Big Talker Network on both Apple and on the Google Play Store. And of course, if you're watching us on Facebook and YouTube, please like and share it. The more people that do that, the farther it goes. On that note, I am going to hand it over to Lori to close it out.
Okay, great. Great show today. Thank you to Pam and Phillip Howe for joining us today. Remember to check them out at it was great. Howtorun.com.
And we're going to have them back on again later because there's a lot more we have to talk about.
Absolutely. So make sure you check their website out. Again, it's HOWE2run.com. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
You did that well. All right, everybody. You're welcome. Thanks for tuning in to all our listeners, and we will catch you all on next week, Friday, 1 p.m. here on the Big Talker Network.
You're tuned in to the Big Talker Network, Wilmington, North Carolina's premier internet station for news and talk radio programming. Find